Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles here. This is your host, Christian Paul speaking. What you're about to see in this episode contains graphic content, whether it's like graphic visuals or graphic language or both. Even though I personally won't be saying these things for professional reasons, to actually try to prove a point professionally and as respect of professionalism, there will be clips in there that may be obscene to some viewers involved. Like some may find appalling, like some of the way that people speak when those clips are shown. Some of them may be found appalling. Just want to try and give you like a heads up literally ahead of time. There will be a clean version of this where those clips will not be shown, or if they are shown, like the words would probably more will definitely be edited out. All right, just please take note of that. Viewer discretion is advised. Juicy! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. This is your host right here, Proud Lane, socially awkward nerd with no game, certified super beta male simp, whatever they want to call. I don't even know what the heck these types of terms are. I got no freaking idea. I don't even care. Christian Paul is speaking. Your host is here once again. Alright, so what we want to discuss here is literally some very juicy topics right now. It's a very juicy example of respect is currency. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go through some grand examples of what not to do and how to do better in order to actually maintain the integrity and respect of both parties involved, right? And a class sample of this is basically something that happened to go with a recent kickout, you know what I'm saying, based off the Freshandfit podcast, you know, self-proclaimed alpha male dating coach gurus, alpha male, self-proclaimed cookie moisturizers, tangerine moisturizers, you know, strawberry moisturizers, juicy, self-proclaimed, very notorious, very notorious on some of the comments they have said on the big four platforms on social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Very notorious, right? So much so that they got shut down on some of these sites and they literally had to actually reboot some of their channels. And for who Fresh and Fit are, you know, basically mainly the two duos, are actually mainly three, but the two people that are actually up in person: Walter Weeks, Amru Fudu, respectively. Freshman CEO, Myron Gaines. They're literally a modern day Pinky and the Brain, you know, for people that actually are in my age group, born in 90s baby. Growing up, you see all these cartoons with Pinky and the Brain where you see up on the WB morning shows up on Saturdays. I mean, Pinky and the Brain, the Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, they come on, you know. Here come Pinky and the Brain, right? We know the tall, slender looking mouse, right? The tall, slender looking mouse is mainly Pinky, and the so bulgy, you know, big headed mouse that you see is the Brain, right? Fresh Prince CEO is your modern day Pinky. And Myron Gaines is your modern day brain. Self-explanatory. For those who actually don't know much about the show, just please look it up. Take a moment to watch some episodes. For people who are literally around my age group, like 30, 31 and up, watching this type of stuff, you understand what I'm saying, right? So, we are going to dig into some examples here. We're going to dig in some, a very quick example of a recent kickout that the Fresh and crew have done on a very young lady as well as a murder, which we quickly find out turns out to be the murder of one of Fetty Wap's children. And for those of you who don't know Fetty Wap, dude of Haitian descent, certified rapper, Patton's finest, Patton, New Jersey's finest, where the goons are really, really bad about it, if you know what I mean. They love them hams, if you will, up there. They do not play whatsoever. He is from those streets up there. Patterson does not play whatsoever, if you know what I mean. So, he is a well-known rapper, best known for Trap Queen, again, 1738, Suey Gang, however you may name it. Unfortunately, he's currently serving a 5-year federal prison sentence, in federal prison, due to a plea that they had to take due to interstate drug trafficking charges, if you know what I mean. So, that's basically who Fetty Wap is. And what you see up in the clip that got kicked out, that's really one of his baby mamas, right? One of his co-parents of one of his young children. I believe at least one. I'm not fully sure if he actually has more than that. We will actually be digging into the whole kickout scene and why, in my opinion, this whole thing that they have up there is just not really sitting well with me at all. And please take note, I know there's self-proclaimed relationship groups, what it is, what they say and what they do, and whatever views you guys have on relationships, how it should be done, traditional, modern, whatever the heck it is. It's not my problem. I'm not here to really discuss that. But what I will be discussing more of are the boundary grounds of respect and how it could be handled much better when dealing with a debate like this. And in the case of PNB Rock, may God rest his soul, right? Because now Fresh and Fair literally approaching the million subscribers with the content now, and they already got notable clicks and notable other content creators, i.e. Grant Cardone, Patrick Bet David, Adam Sosnick. We already know about Michael Blackson, DJ Academics, right? We know about those guys. They're literally celebrity made right now. They got celebrity connects. Obviously, Fresh and Fair are now bigger targets than they were literally a few years ago. Okay? So they really have a huge target in their backs. So anything that they say at that point, they're pure targets, and God knows if they come up out the house, God forbid they could end up in PNB Rock situation, and that's something that I just fear that could happen if they continue the route that they're going. Even though they could get shut down by Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, however it may be, and have the same similar situation and same similar fate as Andrew Tate here. They can still go to Rumble, they can still go together. Even though they may not be able to make the same money as they did up in the past when they're YouTube content and all that, they're still going to have their following and support them regardless. Right? So, with that, let's go dig deep into certain examples of what to do and what not to do. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have the clip of what's really going on up in the streets of what caused the kick out of Fetty Wap's baby mama. Juicy. Now, what first we're basically talking about are basically why a man should not be tolerating marriage, marrying basically a woman with kids or anything like that. And that's basically where it's all stemming from, and this is where it's going to escalate from there into the kick out. That basically Osei Duke Jackson, as he posted on the news, shout out to him, by the way. I first actually saw it through him, and now we're going to be doing a deep analysis through it. So let's get it popping.
Man to commit to a girl that has children, and the reason for that, if you look at it from let's get the feelings aside from a strictly
I agree though
biological sense and risk assessment, it's very bad because you're marrying a woman, you're taking on those kids as your own, and the issue is that if she leaves you, it's not only going to hurt because she left you, but it's also going to hurt because you built attachment to those children. And the scary part is you have zero right to them because they're not biologically yours, right? I mean, hell, guys can barely get access to their own biological children, let alone kids that they adopted from another man from another relationship. So here's the thing. If a man comes in, marries you, gives you security, and provides that same security to you and your children that are not his.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't take care of those kids whatsoever.
I'm saying I'm not talking about my specific situation. Right?
Okay.
But no, I'm gonna say all right, when it comes time, for example, my kids just went back to school, right?
Yeah.
I spent about $700 school clothes shopping.
God damn.
On myself though.
All right, pardon the ads, by the way. Take note, ladies and gentlemen. I have a clip basically discussing about empirical data versus personal experience. You know what I mean? Personal biases. The whole
Watch
9
this.
yards.
I can show you how to get the
excuse me with the shopping stuff, by the way. So
sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices automatically.
All right. So I do have a clip. Basically, it can definitely be posted up in the info box there if you need. I will definitely actually post it up there, as well as, self-proclaimed leftover man here, Myron Gaines. That's also going to be in the video as well. Just take note of that.
I'm not looking for my husband to say, give me this.
No. But here's the thing.
For my kids.
I know he provides something. If he's married to you, there's no way that he's not aiding to those kids somehow.
We go half and half on our bills.
Okay, but I'm saying he's still providing a roof for those kids. He's still providing some type of
we're going half.
fatherhood energy. He's still providing. Because here's the thing I'm trying to say. It's a luxury that he decided to step in and step up to your kids when in reality it's not to his benefit. That's the cold hard reality. It's not in a man's best interest.
Sometimes
Let me finish. It's not in a man's best. It's not in a man's best interest to go ahead and take on stepchildren. It's not at all. It actually opens you up to a lot of liabilities. So my thing is, if a guy comes in, takes care of you, wipes you up, gives you the title, and he takes on your kids. I know you say, well, I pay for my kids and I take care of them, whatever. He's still responsible. I'm sure he's probably very involved in those kids' life to some degree because there's no way around it. Do you have primary custody of the kids?
I mean, my kid's father is in federal prison.
So you have primary custody.
And he's basically talking about her co-parent Fetty Wap here.
Which means there's no way around it. He's got to be around for those children.
But
you guys live
really,
together.
Though. I'm just being completely honest. Like, my marriage.
There's no way that he's not involved with those kids when he lives with you.
Involved as in, we're all in the same,
house. Yeah.
But he's not, taking my kid to go play basketball and, go taking my kids to dance class and, dropping my kids off at school for me and picking them up for me. Or
so what does he do?
My kids, I just choose to keep it separated.
We could say that, but there's no. If you guys all live under the same house, there's no way that he's not involved in those children's. Let's be.
Now here's the thing here. Both Fresh and Fit, Fit is literally almost became a father, right? So personally, unless they're in the position that the woman is in when it comes to parenting and playing stepdaddy and all that stuff, they have no full idea of what it really is like and how to actually fully get what step parenting is really about on a practical, personal level until they actually experience it. They're actually going off it from a student's perspective. They're going off it's based on a study and a research perspective, but not based on stuff that's going on through personal experience and trial and error, the whole 9 yards. Let's continue.
Be realistic here.
I'll tell you how. Right? This is my house. This is my room. This is my children's room. He's here. You know what I'm saying? I cook dinner. He comes out and eats. He goes out and work. He comes back here. He says hi, hello. I'm not saying he completely neglects my children. He may say hi, maybe play around the house, But as far as a real, they know who their dad is. Their dad is very much so. Well, like I said,
he still contributes. You could say hey, it's a half and half. He still contributes more than any other guy typically would want to. Most guys don't want to take on other.
All right, so basically the woman that they have up here is, we know that's a baby mom that's there. I forgot what her name is. Let me try to see what her name is. If I can find, I don't know if they have done it. It's definitely one of the girls that they have here. Unless they delete her Instagram 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, They took out the Instagram of the one that they kicked out, so we don't really know for sure. You could definitely look it up for more detail here. So let's continue.
Kid. So all I'm saying is this:
the thing, you don't have to.
But
it's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice, and he gave himself a disadvantage to give you an advantage. And
but
the thing is that
how much am I disadvantaging myself for him in other aspects of life?
What?
What do you mean? What?
That's what I mean when I say, like, bro, yo.
The thing is, I think, man, like,
it's wild,
dude. Like, guys and women make their decisions, right? So, you know, if he's going into that situation, he knows he knows the deal. He knows what he's signing up for. So that's why
I'm disadvantaging myself when this person is in love with me, right? My kids are my kids.
Sure.
They're gonna be my kids until the day I die.
Oh, sorry.
Afford these games with me mentally and emotionally. Now I can't be the best version of myself, and I can't be the best version of myself for my children or for myself as an individual because I have.
And then Chris actually, you don't know what the heck is going on. He's not even fully listening to what this woman is saying. They're going out from like a shallow lens, but not through a personal experience.
This person who I'm allowing, you know, and at the end of the day, I'm taking full accountability. I'm not saying I'm a victim. He did this to me. I took him back, you know? So I'm disadvantaging myself by trying to make this marriage that I committed to work and causing, I'm not going to say a chaotic, but for lack of better terms, a chaotic environment for my children that will tell me in 10, 15, 20 years from now, Mom, why did you let this guy, you know, X, Y, and Z? I'm disadvantaging myself as well. I'm a mother before anything. My children are going to have questions for me in the long run that I'm going to have to face the music to. He might not even be around, just being completely honest. So it's not just him disadvantaging himself. I'm disadvantaging myself as well because, like he said, when we leave, the guy has to, you know, break the relationship from the children. What does that do to my children as well? And I have to deal with the emotional baggage that comes with explaining to my children, look, he's just not in our lives anymore.
To me, I mean, for me listening, it doesn't sound to me like you appreciate his contribution at all, bro. All I heard from there was...
I'm not gonna go into the full depths of the situation because like it's a podcast and I'm really married and I have real life shit. But you don't understand. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the baddest bitch in the world and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But I know for a fact that there are men out there that would happily take care of me and my children.
That's true.
Okay? And I put my best foot forward. I don't ask this nigga for nothing. I pay $300 to get my hair done every 2 weeks. I pay for it. I get my nails done every 2 weeks. I pay for it. I go on shopping sprees. I pay for it. $600 car note. I pay for it. $400 insurance. I pay for it. I put in my half for the rent. And many months I've paid the rent by myself. Okay? I'm a college graduate.
Salute.
Secure. I have almost 140K followers on the gram. Not saying that it matters, but I make money on Instagram at promoting X, Y, and Z. I'm pursuing a rap career. I'm getting X amount of K views on my music. I'm fucking hustling. I'm going hard, kids and all. And I'm not saying that it's just love that's keeping me in this situation. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of emotions involved. And most people in my life who knows the in and outs say, Lejay, what the fuck are you doing?
All right, so Fetty Wap's baby mama that have up there, her name is Lejay. All right, so that's basically what her name is.
So when I'm sitting on a podcast and someone's telling me, oh, you don't sound like you're appreciative for what he's contributing.
You haven't said one thing about him that positive whatsoever. You just talked about me. This is what I do.
Me, because if I had a lot of positive things to say about him, I would say a lot of positive things to say about him. Yeah. I would.
This says that,
but what do you want me to tell you?
That says a lot in itself.
Well, maybe it could be on the other end. Maybe, you know, Fetty Wap may have been a good father or maybe she neglected some things. We don't fully know unless we're actually dug deep into both sides of the story with Lejay and Fetty Wap. We're never going to fully understand it. Not going to fully understand it at all. You know, so that's just basically one of the things that they have up there.
It does say a lot in itself. And that's why I said a lot of people in my life ask me, Lejay, what are you doing?
This is why I'm like, I don't want to blow up this marriage on this podcast.
Yo, man, look. All I'm gonna say is, if my girl talked about me like that, I'll break up with her immediately, bro. I'll keep it 1,000 with you. You're a woman. Hold on, let me finish. That's fantastic.
Took off the regular.
You're a woman. This is the thing about your girl that I've come to realize. Your woman is a mere reflection of where you stand in society and how much she respects you. When a woman speaks about you or talks about you in a certain way, doesn't appreciate your contribution, trust me, it's always going to show. And my thing is, as guys, you need to look at that fucking mirror and realize, do I like this reflection or do I not? And if you don't, it's time to turn around, improve the image, and come back with another image. Because at the end of the day, like, if your girl, but here's the thing, it's very, you can say what you want, but I can tell just from the way that you speak about him, etc. You don't respect this man. You don't appreciate his contribution. It's me. He's a placeholder in your life. You may not like me saying this, but hey, I'm telling you what I see. And I know
he doesn't thoroughly know who Fetty Wap is. He really doesn't know who Fetty Wap is. He basically has get like a quick assumption, but yet never really dig much into the detail.
From when I speak with women, interviewing well over 1,500 of them, when a woman's an infatuated and respects her man, she speaks in a whole different way about that guy. She would never say anything disparaging about him. This guy is just a placeholder for you in your life, and you don't really respect and or admire him. If I were him, I'd leave you. So that's just me.
And he can leave me. That's fine. I let him know that all the time.
Oh shit!
Hold on. So I'll say this, right? I was in that scenario. I was the guy that stepped up. Stupid. I know.
How does that make you stupid, though? How does that make you stupid? Some men can't even have children of their own.
Yeah, I think the mute was off. Again, unless they actually dig deep into the baby daddy is, whatever what may be, they fully have no idea, none on who they can relate unless they actually seen it, unless they saw the other side of the story. Let's continue.
And some are not interested in having children of their own.
Let him talk.
Single, able-bodied guy that's working on himself, marrying a woman with kids, is a disadvantage. Let me explain. For one, is you and your kids against him. I know it sounds crazy, but like any time you could leave. He mentioned that earlier. Secondly, in the household, he's alone. If anything happens, your kids act out of order, he can't discipline them because that's your kids. So it's like he's paying rent, but it's really your house. And then thirdly, the guy that stepped up to be with you, he has options too. Not saying that you're not got options. I'm just saying that, for example, you can find a girl with no kids. I'm just saying for you,
and I can find a rich man.
Yeah, it works because you guys make it work. I'm just saying for him, at any point in time, he's by himself because it's you and your kids against him.
But it doesn't have to be that way. I feel like things become that way when you build that division, when things are not being handled as a unit, as a family. You know what I'm saying? And when you're making poor decisions, like, see, even down to disciplining, I don't have a problem with him disciplining my kids. But you're not gonna hit my kids. Hit him? Come on. You know how old my kids are, first of all?
Okay. How old?
10?
No, my daughter, she's gonna be 8, and my son is gonna be 5.
Just smack him.
You're not gonna hit my kids.
No, but see, that's the problem. Imagine I'm the man in household. I can't do discipline. That's terrible.
But how many steps, right, do we get to before you start putting your hands on children? Because see, me personally, I don't even really believe in beating kids. Don't get me wrong. I whip my kids' ass. No, but it's when they need it.
No, but see, that's right, because it's your kids. So you have all to say.
Right, but if she did something to me that I didn't like right now, for instance, just use that as an example because you're right next to me. If she was my kid, right, and not me, just a mother in general, and she did something I didn't like, it'd be easy to go, don't ever do that again. But her, as a grown-ass woman sitting right here, if she did something I didn't like, I'm not going to do that to her. I believe that kids, you wouldn't just pop on adults when you don't like what they do. Kids are worthy of an explanation as well. And I believe there's steps that should go. Do I have a problem? My kids have phones, iPads, everything. They love them. Do I have a problem with you saying, listen, taking the iPad, taking the phones. Since you can't respect me, I'm taking everything and go stand in the corner. And guess what? If they have a problem with standing in that corner, now it's time to whoop ass. If you can't stand in that corner and not cry and accept that you're standing in that corner for X amount of minutes or hours because you did X, Y, and Z, now next level.
He still has limited authority, though. Like that's the point. The whole point
I have limited authority just because of how I believe on raising my kids. I'm not going to hit them.
You literally just said before that if they do some dumb shit, you will smack them, but he doesn't necessarily get that same level of authority.
Because I'm telling you that I'm going through steps before. I never said I would smack them.
I understand
so
that.
I
You
didn't
said you would hit them. But the point I'm trying to make is he does not have the same level of authority over your children that you do.
That's
However,
not
he's still
true. Are
responsible.
you not hearing the words coming out of my mouth?
I've been
sir?
listening very closely. You literally said that.
I literally said that there's levels. I literally said that if you try taking the iPad and it doesn't work, you try putting in the corner, it doesn't work. I understand. You're not gonna beat the Rodney King out my kid. No, but a pop. If you tell me.
All right, this is the part where it's going to really, really, really get hectic, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to really get hectic.
Babe, I took the iPad, I took the phone, I put him in the corner. He was still wilding. He was still saying this. And then he said, I popped him.
You know
I
what
get
happens? Timmy, I don't know your kids' names. I don't want to speak for them. But let's say, for example, he does that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, he slapped me. You, look, it's so many ways that can go. We're just saying, look, in that situation, he is not going to be well because guess what?
Yeah.
It's your kids against him. I'm sorry to say this. He might love you. You might love him.
But it's not. I don't take my kids' word for everything because I know my kids. So if my kid tells me, Mom, he slapped me. Babe, you slapped him? Yeah. Why? What happened? Oh, X, Y, and Z, and Z, and Z. Zai, oh, that's my son. Zai, go to your room. I don't want to hear it.
Here's the thing. He got to explain himself to you. Like, you're missing so many
my
things here.
kid's dad has to explain himself to me.
That's a problem, too. And that's the
Then
whole...
call it how you want. And he's
what you would call
he could
at least,
male,
but here's the
and
thing.
he's
He could at least tell you, shut up, it's my kid.
Yeah.
That dude can't. That's the
not,
point.
but he's never going to say that to me.
But I'm saying he can.
Never come out of his
he
mouth
doesn't
and say
have.
that to
He
me.
doesn't have the same. If he was an alpha male, he would tell you, shut up. Those are my kids too. He would tell you, shut up.
No.
But yet they haven't been fathers themselves, so how are they supposed to know if they even have, and they haven't even raised children of their own, though? That's a big problem. How are they supposed to speak these types of things, talking about fatherhood and the whole 9 yards, from like an analytical point, if they hadn't been fathers themselves, right?
No, because there's a difference between being an alpha male and being disrespectful.
No. But alpha men don't let the
there's a
woman
difference
bully them.
between gender roles and common respect.
But here's the thing. He would say, those are my kids too. Like, alpha men don't let women bully them, period. That's what I'm trying to say. And the thing is that guy, he still doesn't have the same level of authority as you do. Mm-hmm. And if it was the biological dad, he could at least tell you, well, I don't care what you think.
If you were contributing to my kids, can I still sit here and say that you're not going to have that? I just said I fucking spent $700 on school.
There we go. Right there. And she discussed it literally minutes ago. Right? She clearly said that minutes ago towards Myron. They're actually discussing it. Even though she actually directing some of the stuff toward Fresh, Myron's the one that's like clearly doesn't want to hear like what she has to say. I'm saying no, those three main dudes that run the show are not fathers whatsoever.
School shopping, okay? No one helped me with that. So how are you going to say that you're going to hit my kid?
And she's not even raising her voice at all. She's actually in the calm manner. Maybe it's like raised and slightly, but she's not clearing your ear and yelling at the whole panel. Let's continue.
Here's the thing. I'm not your husband. Don't raise your voice at me and don't swear me like that again.
I'm listening. I'm making eye contact with him. I'm talking.
Now, Lejay is right. She hasn't raised her voice, but the unfortunate part of the whole matter is, technically, it's Myron's, Chris's, and Fresh's podcast, and they technically have the right to do whatever they want at any given time, however they please. Unfortunately.
I
don't care. You're on the podcast and nobody's swearing at you.
He has absolutely no problem. Whatever. And I'm talking to him. Me and him are making eye.
And yet, Fresh and Fid and the rest of guys, they're literally swearing as well. So look at the hypocrisy.
Contact. He's shaking his head in agreement, and you have a problem.
I do have a problem. You're not going to disrespect my host. Period.
He doesn't feel disrespected.
Relax. I don't give a fuck. What
do you feel disrespected?
Listen.
Pinky and the brain. Yeah. Pinky and the brain. Now, Fresh is actually chilling in there, and he out here being mini-me to Myron. You notice within the tone that Myron runs the whole thing. The whole thing.
Right.
I want to know, do you feel disrespected?
Right now, you're raising your voice, and it's kind of like, yo, why?
Raised it slightly, but she's not clearly on that like the rest of the panel and the Fresh and Fit. He being mini-me,
I'm talking to you nice, calm. I didn't show you one time.
You was just shaking your head and agreeing at me until you
said so. Awkward.
I'm trying to be nice to you here, okay?
Yeah, he's nice.
So it's like, I get what you're saying. Look, you go through a lot. But on the platform, just keep it chill, all right? Here we go.
Don't swear at him again. That's going to be the first.
But yet, they've been swearing all this stuff, content, and all this other stuff towards women that have been there, and the guest has as well, which is kind of hypocritical.
Last time
everybody's been swearing the whole time.
But here's the thing: you're swearing at him, trying to emphasize, you're trying to come up aggressive, whatever. This ain't for fucking debate, bro.
And then Myron has mainly aggressive in like some stats that he has as well.
Oh, whose show are you on?
honestly, fuck you and your show.
Okay,
my
then
nigga.
get the
Like,
fuck out of here.
I will get the fuck
fuck
out of here, nigga. You give
Hey,
you
yo!
ain't get pussy until you was 20-something years old.
And there we go. And, you know, how should I say this, right? You know, it is one thing that I've learned when it comes to literally communication, right? When you speak to women, like even if she's low class or high class, she could be a stripper, she could be so female homeless from the street. She could even be like a Top Gun lawyer, a CEO, or even a vice president of the United States, or even your own mom. You have to treat women with like the highest level of respect, the decorum possible, and treat them how you want to be treated. Basically, treat them the same way as you do to your mother, your sister, your aunts, your female cousins, your grandmothers, right? Treat them with the utmost decorum and respect possible. Okay? As I said earlier with the whole respect is currency thing. Respect is currency, right? Men must respect women. Women must respect men, right? It goes like both ways. It literally goes like it's a two-way street, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, they have something like this because a lot of women, they tend to go off and they'll make so disrespectful comments, and some of them, they can act the fool due to their deep insecurities and all that stuff, you know, which I understand. But you still have to discuss these things and say in the calm manner, say, hey, I don't thoroughly appreciate what you're doing. If you try to pull something one more time, I'm going to have to pull you to the side and me have to try and have you kicked off the show. Or what Myron could have done, actually what he should have done, right? He should have actually took a moment and pulled the J up to his room, up in a private room somewhere, or what it's a bathroom. I don't know, never not a bathroom. But he should have pulled him up to his room and have like a quick discussion and get down saying, hey, you can't be acting a fool like this. You know what I mean? If I see this one more time, I'm going to have to let you go. Or you pull him back in there and say, hey, you can't be here no more. You know, you've been like very disrespectful toward the show and everything. Please take yourself and leave. You don't have to worry about cussing her out or calling her bimbos or ratchet or acting a fool and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? You should have done it that way. By then, respect and integrity would still be maintained by both sides, and everyone would be having a little merry way, and the conversation would still be going on, confusing rather than like making the whole situation extremely awkward for everybody up in the room, which is what you see in the minutes to come.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It was actually 18. You should watch the show and figure it out. But anyway, go ahead. Fuck out of here. You look like a clown.
Who looks like a clown?
You. Get out of here.
I probably look better than any bitch you ever been with. Look at you. Look at you. You run a show on literally.
You look
run
wild
a
right
show
now with 13,000 people watching.
I don't give a fuck. You run a show debating about and with women. What does that say about you? Pussy ass.
And they have. And they've done like a lot of research. They've done a lot of research on this stuff, but yet they haven't experienced with a lot of women are dealing with, and they hadn't been like in like some deep, genuine relationships with other women based on their personalities, given the personalities of all three of them right here. And I can see basically eyes. They're naive. They're still gaining slow knowledge in the whole 9 yards, but their naivety is literally showing. And I'm gonna get to that at the end of the video.
Nigga,
You look like you're a fucking clown. Get out of here.
I'm a clown.
Yes, you are. You look wild right now.
I'll get this bitch shut the fuck up, nigga. You don't know who the fuck.
Oh, you'll do what?
Now
You'll do
heard
what?
me. You heard me.
You'll do
Loud
what?
and clear.
Get it shut up.
You heard me
Yo.
loud and clear.
Okay, bring it back. Get him, bring it back.
There we go. And the kickout is gone astray. The kickout is gone intensified. And I tell you, this is what Fresh and Fit is mainly known for. Kicking women out on the show just for extra clout, just for extra views, right? That's the main reason why they do it, right? This is the main reason why they do all this stuff to try and get their clouds up and try and get their money up so that they'll be able to try and get more business there from other clients. That's the main reason why they have this in the first place, because this is literally their full-time job. And that's how they get their millions throughout the whole year, right? It's not really a professional way to do it. And like a professional saying, this will not literally fly unless they literally go extremely out of control, which is very rare. But normally, if it would be like an extreme professional setting, if you're working in like a professional situation where you're dealing with hosts and everything, you know, they'll have security come by and tell you behind the scenes saying, there. Security come by and they'll slightly pull you up saying, hey, you have to go, as if you're in the public setting. Or the host will actually try to take you into a private room and actually let you know up then and there that so and so, this and this will not be tolerated. If you're not going to abide by the rules, you got to go. Then they'll apply, bring them out again, and say, hey, you're gone. You can't come back in no more. And let them handle their way and continue the show and let things flow the way they be. But now they didn't do that. They all about the clout. They all about the attention.
Back, bring him back,
tonight,
and I don't miss. Yup, do it. Go ahead.
And as for LeJay, you know, if I were her, I would ignore what Myron said and just literally get up out of here and just walk away. I don't want to waste time really trying to do something like this and actually make literally gun threats and all that stuff. What it's going to do is really escalate the situation to the point of the crazier proportions. And, you know, with versus fit situation, it's getting a little bit sketchy at that point.
Try me again. Do it. Fantastic. I don't miss, bitch. Do it. Do it.
Yeah. Federal agent, by the way. Myron.
Yup. I do. Come back. Come back. It's gonna be the end for you. Come back, you dumb bitch. This is Florida. Stand your ground. Come back.
Is this military?
I'll let you in. Whoever the fuck you bring out here. Do it. The fuck out of here, man. Ratchet ass hoes. Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back, and it's gonna be end for you and him. I promise you.
And now you're seeing the rest of the castmates extremely feeling awkward, feeling spooked. You know, it's a really awkward moment where they feel way tense, way defensive. That young lady right there is just like really clueless on what the heck is going on. So it's a lady right to the left of her. They're a bit spooked out.
Stupid assholes, man.
0 to 100 real quick.
Come back.
And then you look at the third woman, the third lady that's up on the left side where my pinky, like where my mouse is. She's spooked. Homeboy in the middle is like literally chilling, and that's not like just actually like nothing really happened. The woman on the right, basically with like the red dress and everything, you know, the little tank top they have, the little see-through dress that she has going on. She's a little spooked. This young lady's feeling a bit awkward. The lady down to her left is also feeling awkward, and the lady on the far end is extremely spooked as heck.
God damn.
So, ladies.
I know that reaction. I know that reaction.
Now that I have all your attention. Jeez, man.
Bro, Zuby, I was trying to avoid that because I saw it. I was like, I'm gonna stay calm. I'm gonna be nice because she was getting heated, bro. She was mad.
Yeah.
So
You know what? It's her kids, bro. I get it. It's like it's touching.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yo, I'm not feeling comfortable
Bro.
like dwelling on this. Like,
There we go. You see, Myron said put that young woman in this private room and just let her know to get out and let the conversation run smoothly. That's what should have happened.
But no,
personal marriage
but to be
situation.
real,
Try the
like,
first time.
the guy that she's dating, bro, I guarantee you, bro, she don't have no. You know what it is? She doesn't at least what's the word? She doesn't respect him enough to say, you know what? He's helping me. He's helping her in a way. Maybe not a lot, but on some level he is. So it's like, it's tough, man. It's tough.
And how are they actually talking about all this dating advice, but yet they simp a woman? Like they've literally simped and done some bad stuff to women, still currently behind the scenes. I gotta know.
Why you
I don't know, girls, if you agree with me from a female point of view. Would you be with someone who you cannot speak nicely about? Would you be like, and she said that she's
Definitely
paying
not.
for everything. So why do you need him to go to your room every day? Like for what?
I didn't understand
Mo-
that.
mo- moving away from like any personal situation though, but it brings up an interesting point when I was being asked around, you know, like a woman being wifey material. Another thing is that a point I didn't bring up is that your wife represents you even when you're not there.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. Let me try and get my final thoughts in a bit. This is insane. All right, to sum this whole thing up, ladies and gentlemen, you know, basically for the gentleman here, when you actually try to, I wouldn't say discipline. Discipline would probably be the bad word to use in this case. But when you see a woman being disrespectful to any foreign man, all you have to do is just say, hey, and just basically act in a cordial manner and say, hey, I don't appreciate you doing acting this type of way, acting this type of behavior. Or what you can do if you're in like a big, large table, whatever it may be, and you're doing a debate and you see like certain women act up and all that stuff, pull her to the side, okay, pull her away from the rest of the group, and talk to her one-on-one and explain and say, hey, I don't appreciate this type of behavior. You do it again. Pull her aside again and say, hey, you gone. You've got to leave. You can't be here anymore. Alright? And you send her packing patient on her way, and if she does act out and everything, you got security, you got basic police there you can call if they continue to act up, and that's what they're there for. You shouldn't be acting a fool and talking to women in Callaway and calling them bimbos and bitches, literally cussing up a storm, literally all that other stuff. Part of my language, by the way, for what I'm actually said, and I'm just saying that as examples here. That's gonna get edited out in a clean version. Now, you shouldn't be speaking to women in that manner. You know what I'm saying? You have to treat them with the same utmost decorum as you do your own mother. Okay, now in the women's aspect as well, right? You want to try and make sure that the discussion is actually being said, not get too jumpy to try and interrupt what other people are saying, especially when the hosts are actually like doing some things that are there. Because I know they have like the process of what Fresh and Fit are doing. For the majority of the women that actually come on the show, they have no idea that they actually meet with these guys. Unlike what Kevin Samuels does, he actually gives a link for any random woman that actually call up on the spot and ask them some questions and speak their minds and all that other stuff, right? So with this one, they do their little recruiting and they have casting coaches come by and send random Instagram models the link. Have them, hey, we need you at this location, this spot with free drinks, whole 9 yards. While not actually like giving them like the thorough information, like this is about Fresh and Fit and who these guys are, and not giving them any history on like what they do in their show. That's the issue they had, because had they done that, I understand why they did it, because it's all strategy. Because if they post like what they do most of the time and they see all the stuff on YouTube and they figure out who they are and all that stuff, more than likely they're not going to be able to come on the podcast, and they wouldn't be able to have their bread and butter that way. That's their main bread and butter. The women in there, and then getting the kickouts whenever they get high and ready, whenever Myron gets like gun and trying to rile the woman up. You know what I mean? And Allende, one of the former workers from Fresh and Fit, Allende Gordon, big shout out to him. He knows a lot more about the insides and outs and how they run things. So you actually go to his channel, Authentic Alphas. They have a lot more information on like how they really run things really behind the scenes. You know what I mean? You just saw like a clear-cut example of like literally what not to do and how to do better in this case. Because say you try to apply that stuff in the real world. Say that you try to apply that in a company or a job or in a presentation. You got people literally all going over the place. Yeah, you got some people that are literally there and can go berserk. If it goes to extreme, that's different. But if you got people literally arguing, probably winning like 1-2 times, you try and pull that same suck in the way you act out literally up in front, up in public and act the fool, it's going to ruin the whole vibe in the whole room. And it's going to be insane. And more than likely, you will not be able to last that long in that business, taking the route that Myron has taken. More than likely, that could get you with some potential sexual harassment charges, misconduct charges, lawsuits coming in your way. You know what I mean? It's not really worth it. And also to add in a point, they do the podcast at Myron's apartment up in downtown Miami, more specifically Brickell, right? Fortunately, they do have security really up in there, but the security ain't really exclusively for that podcast. It's mainly for the whole building, like housing hundreds of tenants literally up in like 20-30 floors up by Brickell, right? So they're not just hosting them. God forbid something happens where everything gets too loud and folks start complaining about what really goes on, God forbid, like their days may be numbered, we don't know, right? Chances are they could be moving their sets to a new apartment, or they could be moving a spot and then been a spot. Either way, when people find out about their location and post up where they're at and all that other stuff, it's gonna be similar to the situation with God rest his soul, PNB Rock. And that's something that I fear that could happen if they continue to go to the route that they are currently going, both Fresh and Fit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not discussing more up on the relationship aspects. If you guys want to choose to actually just go watch them, whatever they have. I know they do have some great guests on there, but their advice, in my opinion, is just a bit illegitimate on some points. Most points, actually, at the very least, because they've yet to have the personal experience to deal with these types of issues, even though they studied on them. I wouldn't fully trust them with my own money, in my personal opinion. But again, to every person is on. If people want to actually just listen to this type of stuff, they're welcome to it. That's their right. I'm not going to discuss that. I'm not going to discuss all the other stuff that they have with the core values of relationships and all that blah, blah, blah stuff here. I'm not going to be discussing that up on this part, but I will be discussing, as again before, all I can say is I wish they would have had like much more better decorum and much better integrity. And you notice in that room, literally in that room behind the scenes with Myron and Fresh and Chris, they do not command the respect of the room at all whatsoever from the very beginning. They actually like literally treating the people literally with some kind of way. They're not having like a genuine dialogue or even like a more civil dialogue. As with like other roundtable debates they have with like other dudes and like other hot women like this, or I don't even say hot, some may be like low class, high cast maybe, but other women that deals in roundtable up in Miami as well, i.e. Stunt Lifestyle. You can try and look at them. I'm gonna have definitely tag some other channels below that actually deals with this type of content. Playing with Fire is definitely another one that's more civil. Marquette Burden the scene in the center, even though literally, yeah, they're a bit more civil on how they like, you know, speak with women and how they actually get their points across without even coming across as bashing or belittling in some kind of way, right? So that's the thing I want to actually try to enforce is like respect. This really has to be currency. Respect must be placed in the foundation of what you do and debates and everything in that nature before you go off with like the name calling, the name shit and all that stuff. You just gotta make sure the integrity is there and the respect is there, because if it's not, it's literally game over at that point. And with that said, I will be signing out. I will be here in the sack after like an early day of, you know, pumping iron, you know, like the simple claim alpha males would do. You know, with that being said, I got nothing more discussing the subject other than Chris and Paul literally signing out from the Nerd Chronicles. I do got some links on how illegitimate, in my opinion, Fresh Fit are. You can definitely find them below as well. You can definitely go check them out. Deuces, deuces, deuces. Good night.